First of all, I'm really honored to have had the opportunity to carry on for Coach Tang. And Coach Tang, as you well know, a lot of you well know, is an incredible human being and a really, really good man. And Coach and I have been through a lot. Over 20-some years, we started the Baylor program. And so it's an honor to be able to do this. However, I think the people that are getting the most overlooked in this whole thing is the staff. Like, on a daily basis, it's extremely difficult for what they have to do and the way in which they have to do it. And the sand's running out, and pretty soon the keys aren't going to work. And now you've got to figure out what you're going to do with your family, and multiple of them with little ones. And I've been there. I've had 2 little boys, and I've been there. But the staff has been resilient as the players. They've done an incredible job making sure these guys are as much on point as possible we could possibly be. And then in-game decisions, in-game strategies, scouting, all those things that are necessary. I don't love this, and I don't want to do this. This is not what I want to do. And I'm grateful that they understand that, and they keep giving me information and feedback and how we got to do this and how we got to do that. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I make mistakes. But those guys get overlooked. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that our staff, like, they deserve a lot of credit for what's transpired in these last 2-3 weeks. And I'm grateful to be beside them.
Matthew, can you just kind of expand on what has been the most awkward thing for not just the coaches but the players, knowing that the situation has an expiration date coming up here pretty fast?
I think the marketability has been the most troubling, because everything you see is under the microscope. So today you're on national TV on CBS. So some of these guys are playing for contracts. They're playing for contracts either next season in the NCAA. They're playing for contracts maybe professionally. And like, staff is trying to get a job. And so there's so many different things where marketability is focused on. And what you do is always going to be there because the video doesn't lie. And so that's been, for me personally, I'm 61 years old. And I'm grateful because I'm frugal and because I'm a little bit awkward. I can go back to my residence that's 2 blocks away from the Atlantic Ocean, and I can figure out life. But for others, it's not like that. And so sitting in my seat and being the person that I am, that part has been it's been the hardest part on a daily basis. The understanding about where they are, where they're going, where my mind was when I had 2 little ones. And we're all going to end up fine, and we're all going to end up in a good place because God's got greater plans for all of us. However, it's tough. And so I'm trying to navigate that. I'm trying to navigate the players where they are. Do guys not want to play? Do they want to play? Do they want to get in? Do they not want to get in? Do they this? Do they that? I told PJ at the end of the game, the reason I'm taking you out, the last thing I want is you to trip accidentally or get hurt accidentally, and next thing you know, your arm is back. Now you can't play Tuesday. So I might have been born yesterday, but I wasn't born last night. And so all that stuff has been really difficult to navigate because in this, in the old days, it'd probably be way different. Way different. But you have no leverage. You have no leverage.
I did have one question about the game. Kansas had, I think it was 8 dunks tonight, a lot of alley-oops. What was just the challenge in defending that play?
Yeah, first of all, 40, he's as good as there is. Kansas has always been that team that's always thrown them. They're always that team that always wants to play that way above the rim and play that way off a ball screen, especially with Council or who was it last year, number 3, whatever his name was. He was here forever, Harris. he was really good at it. I mean, when I was here in 09, you know, Collins was really good at it. And so that, like, they've had dudes that have always been really good at that. So the difficulty is, do you switch it or you don't switch it? And then the other difficulty is, if you don't, do you have enough backside help that you can get over? And like Taj stole the one in the second half. So it's tough because they kept coming at it. I think we cut it to 10 at one point. I thought we missed some shots we normally make in the first half, and I thought we missed some open threes that could have made it a single-digit 6-7 point game at halftime. Then we come out in the second half, and we, you know, play well and get it to 10. So if ifs, ands, and buts were candies and nuts, maybe this situation wouldn't be happening right now, but they are.
I know the way the last game against Kansas was on the top of mind for some of the guys. Just what'd you make of the effort and everything today, just competing with them?
I was extremely proud of the fact that our guys didn't quit again. Like, you could have quit. When they got up, whatever it is they got up, you could have quit. And then we got it back to 14, I think. I think they got up like 20, and then we got it back to 14, maybe 14 with the ball. And so I love the fact that the guys continued to fight, but then they got it up to 30, and at that point, you know, now it becomes a little bit different, right? And so, but, you know, guys made shots down the stretch, which was great for us because it looks closer on the scoreboard. But, you know, with BYU on Tuesday night, we know that, you know, they play Texas Tech tonight, and we know who they are and what they're going to try to do. And we know that AJ drives the ship. And so we just got to figure out how to guard that and how to guard against him, and then make sure Rob's not getting going. And also 13, Keith, I think is his name, whatever 13's name is, can't be doing the same thing that 40 was doing tonight.
What's kind of some of the messaging going into Tuesday? Just trying, you found your ways to motivate these guys over the last few weeks.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. We try to do the best we can as a staff. We'll be off tomorrow. We'll give them the full day off, no school, no anything, get their minds, bodies, and spirit right. We'll come in Monday. Everybody's 0-0. And the other thing, too, is like our women are tipping right now, right? They're a 12 seed playing for a semifinal to get a chance to play for a championship. So it's happening right in front of you. And at the end of the day, you got to play the games. And so you play the game, then you figure it out, because you can't play for a championship unless you win the first game.